Q4 is coming faster than we want, therefore the right preparation is extremely important. In this video, we will talk about what is the best way to find a unique niche, perfect for Q4, so you can make this Q4 the best of your publishing career. If you don't know Andrey, last year in December, he made over $19,000 with only 12 books. And the crazy thing, it was his first Q4 on Amazon KDP. Welcome, Andrey.
Hello, Peter. Thanks.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Can you let the viewers know how did you make 19K with only 12 books last December?
Yes, of course. It was my 11th month of doing KDP, so a little bit new. I'm now doing KDP for 1.5 years. And I have had a marketing background. So I had a marketing agency before KDP, and I knew a lot of copywriting, and especially to figure out by market research or niche research as it's called on KDP, figure out how the target audience thinks, how the people decide what to buy and what not to buy. And this way I framed my books in a way that they're just special. So I think the secret, if you want to call it secret, it's positioning. So while you're doing niche research, keyword research, you want to position your book in a way it's unique, it can stand out, especially in Q4. You have a lot of methods to use special concepts to achieve that. And I think I managed that really well to achieve that in my first Q4.
That's amazing. What are some special methods and concepts that people can use for Q4?
Yeah, we did, a few days ago, we did a webinar. So if you guys, maybe you were there, if you weren't there, you can check it out in the free Skool Community of Peter. So just go on the link below this video, after this video, and click on it. It's 2 hours, so this video is a little bit shorter. And we talk more about the niche research and keyword angle. But in the webinar, we talked about also Amazon ads for Q4, also positioning for Q4, and other things to prepare yourself for Q4 this year. And there the main conclusion, so to talk a little bit about that for the people who saw the webinar to not hear the same again. The main conclusion is go into niches without a clear Christmas concept and implement the Christmas concept. That's the conclusion. And the idea behind it is, so for the people who don't know what positioning really means, it's like framing. My example was that if Peter introduced me as a comedian, you all would expect of me to make jokes, to be funny, just because he used one sentence. If he introduced me as a comedian, you all would expect that. And that's framing. And you can do the same, not with people, but with books. So if you call your book something, then the people believe it is that. At first, of course. If you don't keep up to the expectations, of course, then if you introduce me as a comedian and I'm boring as fuck, hope I can say that on YouTube, then you wouldn't believe for long that I'm a comedian. I think that's logical. And the same is for your book. If you call your book, for example, for women, that would be a framing. If you call your book something for women, and then the book is like has colors only for men, on the cover is a man, then it's a mismatch. So you want to frame it for women in the title, but the cover shows clearly it's not for women, it's more for men or for kids or for something else. That doesn't work, of course. But if you aim to have everything everything looks logical. If you see the cover, it has the same framing. If you see the title, it has the same framing. If you see the A+ comment, the description, everything of your book listing has the same positioning, the same framing. Then it works. And of course, also the content of the book needs to have this positioning. So if you make a book for women, then also write the book on a standpoint that it's more appealing to women. So I think that's very important to do.
I think one concern that people might have in terms of making that position for Q4 is that, well, it will only sell during November and December, let's say. And I think one mindset shift there is if you make $3,000 from Q4 and the other months you make, let's say, $100 a month, then $3,000 is still more than $1,200, which is in essence what matters. So if you look at so if you think about how much you can make in Q4 with a unique positioning, and then I think that can be worth it. And another thing people can do is they can look, for example, if they have BookBeam or Helium 10, they can look at the previous sales history of December if there are niches that already exist. But what you talk about also is to create, in essence, niches that don't exist already. Can you expand a little bit on that?
Yes, as I said, positioning is the framing, and instead of my example with for women, you can use for Christmas or for the winter season, something that is related to Q4. And if you do that, then people will just will expect the book is for Q4, even it's not a book that has anything to do with it. And this way you can frame your book, so all the people in October, November and December will more likely buy your book just because of the framing than the other books. And there are a lot of great examples. One I gave was learn how to play the piano. It's a really big niche, and you can just frame it like learn how to play the piano with Christmas songs. And this way all the people who want to play the piano in October, November and December, they read with Christmas songs, think, okay, in a few months or weeks it's Christmas, so that's the perfect book for me right now. Because maybe they also want to learn how to play the piano to show their family and friends on Christmas they have learned something in the last few weeks and months, and therefore Christmas songs would be perfect. So you can take a niche that has nothing to do with any season, like learn to play the piano, and make it into a Christmas niche. And you can do this with literally any niche, of course, if you have a great angle as the Christmas songs, because Christmas songs are a real thing, so they connect to the musical niche behind it. You can do the same for to play the guitar, for example. You can do it for every instrument, I would guess. And you could do it for every other niche. So every niche that has nothing to do with Christmas and don't have any Christmas books, maybe just try out a Christmas or winter angle. And I would expect that these books then will sell really great compared to a normal book you would create in this niche. Why? Because a lot of these niches are very saturated, and it's hard to enter a really saturated niche today. So if you have a unique angle, you can still attack it and then outcompete the competitors' books, at least in this short period of Q4. Or even if you don't outcompete them, but if you just can compete and get the money in, you can, as Peter explained, you can have a book that earns in this 3 months in total, for example, $3,000, and then it earned more than maybe most of your books earn the whole year. And that's not that uncommon, that you have books that sell in the 3 months of Q4 more than other books sell the rest of the year. So this would be worth to test it, trying it out, and focusing on that angle, even though if you don't earn much the rest of the year.
So, and the reason for this is that there's so many more people on Amazon during Q4. So it makes sense. The BSRs, everything is different during Q4. Ranking highest in the category, it means much more during Q4 than during other months. So also running ads, etc. matters a lot during Q4. So once again, if you want to learn more about Q4, then check out the webinar by joining the free Skool community. There you can access the replay. But let's continue talking about positioning. What are some books that are not Christmas related that still sell better during Q4?
Yeah, if you have, there are two types. One more generic that maybe helps people more overall. A lot of my books aren't positioned on Christmas, especially this year I do more of that. But my best-selling book, for example, last December, it wasn't specifically about Christmas, but it was just a unique topic that wasn't there before. And if you have books like this, also they sell better in Q4 just because of the, as Peter told a minute ago, the pure amount of people that enter Amazon. But if you want a concept is itself, besides for Christmas or for the winter season, it's kids books, it's books for teens. So it's all these types of books that parents or older brothers or any other relatives gift to children or teenagers. And if you have any books in any niche with this topic, in Q4 you will have an increase in sales. And what you can do, if you look on Helium 10, if you look how books perform in Q4, so the problem is if you do niche research for Q4, it's important to not look at the BSR today, but at the BSR last December and the December before that. Why? Because if a Christmas book doesn't sell in March, it's not a bad book, it's just not selling in March because it's a Christmas book. So you need to compare the BSRs in the right season of the book. So if on Helium 10, for example, I don't know if BookBeam can do that, maybe it can.
I think so, yeah.
On Helium 10 you can click on a chart and it shows you from when the book got launched till today, the whole chart with daily BSR. And then you can just go back to all the Q4s and then analyze the books if they sell in Q4 or if they don't. And if they do, you know, okay, it's maybe a good thing to create a book in this niche or a book with the same concept as this book you're currently analyzing. And if you have a niche where there aren't a lot of kids books selling well during the year, maybe you can still do a kids or teenager book and it will perform in Q4. As the example we made before, it's not that important if it sells the rest of the year. If you have a great angle for Q4, it can make sense to only build the book for Q4. And you can go into niches without a lot of teenager or kids books, make a teenager or kids books, and then in Q4 it sells really well, and the rest of the year maybe it doesn't sell that well, but at least it sells great in Q4, and that's absolutely worth it. Yeah. I think that's the core we want to talk about. Do we have anything else we want to share? I think maybe it's a shorter video this time, but the webinar is like 2 hours long, so if you want to hear it as a podcast or watch it full focus, we talked a lot of it, really dense information there, so feel free to check it out. And else I hope this video was already helpful for the people.
Thank you very much, Andrey.
Yeah, no
it was
problem.
a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.